journalists at the Charlie Hebdo weekly magazine satirized all religious faiths, politicians, people in power, but it was their depiction of the Prophet Muhammad that angered some Muslims in France and abroad and led to threats against the employees' security. Their office was actually firebombed. For the past several years, workers at Charlie Hebdo have been under police protection. That security detail was shot and killed today by attackers. 12 people killed, 10 journalists, 2 police officers, 11 now seriously wounded. The manhunt continues for the suspects. But what was it like to work under those conditions alongside the people of Charlie Hebdo? Well, when Charlie Hebdo's offices were firebombed, they actually had to move to an organization, another magazine called Libération, which is close by, who opened their offices. And many of their staff worked together. And at that time, the people of Charlie Hebdo had to move over there. What was it like to work with them and their editor, who was murdered today, Stéphane Charbonnier? Joining me now, François Sergent. As of last night, he was the editor-in-chief of the French newspaper Libération. Now, that newspaper invited the staff of Charlie Hebdo, the magazine where the gunman massacred 10 journalists today. Their office was firebombed and they moved in with the staff of Libération. Mr. Sergent, thanks for being here. How closely did you, as the editor-in-chief, work with the people at Charlie Hebdo?
We worked quite closely for, I think, about 3 months. We gave them officers, we gave them computers. We knew these people for a long time, and also we thought it was quite important. They could keep going publishing even after the office have been firebombed. So we decided, all the newsroom and the editors, that they could be able to publish issue after issue, and after 3 months they got a new office. But you know, these two newspapers are in the mood, I would say, of 1968, and we have been very close. Journalists from Libération are sometimes working for Charlie Hebdo, and many cartoonists, because Charlie Hebdo was mostly a newspaper of cartoonists, have been working for Libération and for Charlie Hebdo. So they were friends, you know, were from the same family, we could say.
Yeah, and as you say, the cartoonists worked both at Libération and Charlie Hebdo. You shared offices. You've seen that 10 journalists were gunned down today. Did you know any of the journalists who were either killed or wounded there?
I knew, and I was not a close friend, but I knew personally Sharp, the editor-in-chief, because he worked with us for about 3 months. He has been editor of Charlie Hebdo for 6 years. And at least 2 of them, Wolinski and Cabu, were very well-known cartoonists. You know, every French knew the cartoon and these 2 people. They were both in the 70s or even 80s for Wolinski. But Wolinski, for instance, did many advertisements, and he was known as a very fond of women, and his cartoon was a bit were erotic. It's bizarre to speak like that of him today, as he's dead. But he was a very funny guy, and was a reputation of a womanizer. Cabu was doing mostly sad drawings of students, very tired, and he was looking like his cartoon. So these 2 people were very well known in France, and I knew them in this way. Yeah.
Can you give us an insight, as someone who worked there, on? I mean, they knew that they were threatened. They had police outside their offices. They moved into your offices after they were firebombed a number of years ago. I mean, they knew that they were under constant threat for the work that they were doing. How much danger did they believe they might be in? Obviously, no one can foresee this kind of horrific massacre. But did they see themselves as vulnerable as people who were endangered and targeted by any groups?
Yeah. I knew they were in danger. You know, Sharp was always with 2 bodyguards from the French police, and one of these guys was killed today by the terrorists. they were quite aware of the threat, and they were receiving threats all the time, and they knew that, but they didn't relent. I think they believe, firstly, that it will never happen, but unfortunately, it did happen today. And also, they were very, very courageous, I would say, because they were ready to fight for the freedom of press, for the freedom, I think, of everybody. They have a very black humor. Sometimes it could be seen horrendous and very offending. I'm from a Catholic family, and they were sometimes doing cartoon of the Pope. I cannot tell you how bad they could seem for Catholic, but they were doing the same against the Muslim, against the Protestant, the Jews. So they were very, very irreverent, which is in the French tradition, and they thought it was quite important to keep fighting. They were without fear, in fact, and they were. I won't say they were ready to risk their life for that, but it did happen today when these people decided to kill one by one Wolinski, Cabu, Tinius, and Charb, and Bernard Baris, who was an economist, and we just knew tonight another cartoonist from Charlie Hebdo.
Horrific news, obviously, for your community of journalists. You work very closely with many of these people. As you say, they were equal opportunity offenders. They'd satirize anyone. That was their job. And today it looks like they paid for that with their lives in a horrific events. François Sergent, merci. Thank you very much. Horrific news, but I appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you.